Proverbs chapter 19, verses 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of God shall stand. He said there are many devices in a man's heart. There's many wicked things in a man's heart that could take him away from God. And the main device is the one that we always hold in our hand. This device can draw us away from God also. But he said the counsel of the Lord shall stand. The counsel of God shall stand. Have that communication with God every day. You know, if there's some things you're struggling with, even lust is a device in the heart, you know, that can take us away from God. The internet is a device in the heart that can take you away from God. Anything that you set above God. Ezekiel chapter 14, verses 3. Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart and put the stumbling blocks of their iniquity before their face. Should I be inquired at all by them? He said the idols, the devices, you know, that may cause them to stumble was in their heart. It was not, you know, it's not a statue. It was not anything of that nature. It was something that they hid in their heart. You see, there's things that we love and lust and cherish more than God. You know, things that we put before God. Whether you love that football game more than you do God. Whether you love that celebrity more than you do God. That is in your heart. You know, that's in your heart. That has nothing. That's not something. That's not like a rosary bead that you're holding in your hand. Yeah, we want to accuse them, hey, of their idols. But we got our idols too that we hide in our heart. Then he goes on to say, nevertheless, the counsels of the Lord shall stand. You seek God for counseling. You know, the Bible says he is the wonderful counselor. You can talk to God about anything. Jeremiah chapter 23, verses 18. Who has stood before the Lord? Who has stood in the Lord? Who has stood in the counsel of the Lord and have perceived his word, have marked his words and heard it. You see, who has stood in the counsel of the Lord? Who you stand before God for counseling. You perceive it. You listen to it. You hear it. You hear the word of God. He said, and you mark it. You mark the word of God. He said that perceive and have marked the word of God and heard it. You got to hear the word of God. You got to perceive what he's saying. You got to listen to it and seek his counsel.